Hey guys, so I'm back, and today we're going to talk about eyeshadow, how and where to apply your eyeshadow, how many colors I recommend you use, and why. So that's why we're getting a little up close and personal today. So, first thing I recommend doing is always using an eyeshadow primer. Your eyeshadow is just going to last longer, it's going to look better, it's just going to be better. So just the tiniest little amount, and then you're going to just kind of wipe that all over the lid. All over, right from your lash line all the way up to your brow line. You want that all over. You also want to give it a second to dry too. So this side. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a really fluffy brush, not that one, this one here. So, okay, first I'm going to show you which brushes I'm actually using because these are really great brushes. So I got to talk about them for a second. These two brushes are both mascara brushes. They're both eyeshadow brushes. They're both amazing because the way they're shaped, the density of them, they are on point. Okay, so these are really super high quality brushes, and they make your eyeshadow application 100 times easier just because of their density and their shape. They're great. I really love them. So this one that I'm using is called I believe it's the Blend and Tap brush. It's got two dense sides to it. Sorry, can't see that. Two dense sides to it, but they're shaped a little bit differently. So one is more of a round shape, and then one is a little bit, I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit thinner to get more in that crease area, which I really like. So first I'm going to use this brush. It's not the Blend and Tap one's called the Eyeshadow Everything brush. It's got a really small dense end for kind of precise application, and then you've got a fluffy end, which is great. I love the fluffy end. So I'm going to take that fluffy end. I think today I'm going to use, I recommend at least 3 shades. I'm going to use 4 today, and I will show you why. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use 4 colors today. So the first one I'm going to use is this one here. It's super, super light, pretty much the same tone as your skin. I'm just using this one because it acts as a really good base so that your other colors blend really well. So I'm going to use that fluffy brush, and I'm just going to apply that all over, all the way up to that eyebrow line, all over, and your method of blending really doesn't matter at this point. I do also actually pull my eyeshadow underneath my eye as well on my lower lid because it allows for like a really natural looking depth. So I'm just going to go underneath. Ta-da! When you're choosing a base color, don't go too light. You don't want to go lighter than your skin because you don't want to have like a really super obvious kind of white haze going from your eye to your eyebrow. You want that to be very natural looking. You don't even really want to be able to see it. So even like a setting powder, like a translucent powder, would work really well for that also. So the second color that I'm going to use is going to be our transition shade. So this is what's going to allow your darker colors to blend in really well with your lighter colors and not give you like a big sharp line right there. You want that kind of ombre effect. So I'm going to go with the Bend and Tap blush for this, and I'm going to use the rounder end. So the shade that I'm going to use is, make sure I'm going that right, this one there. That one's called Valencia. The first one I used is this one. It's called Sabrina. This is the one I'm going to use now. It's not super dark. It's kind of taupish color, so that's kind of what you want. So I'm going to take the round end of my blend and tap brush, and you're going to start, I always start right in the crease and then I just kind of blend it out. And this one is going to be hardly noticeable either, but that's why it's a great transition shade, because you want it to blend in well with your base shade. So for this one, I kind of use both blending methods here. I kind of go in circles to keep it in the crease, but then I also kind of windshield wiper it up towards my eyebrow as well. This is really difficult when you're using your phone screen as a mirror because I can't actually see how it looks. So I'm going to peek into my mirror here. So you're just kind of blending. And then again, I pull that underneath my eye as well to create a little bit of depth. You can also use this transition shade kind of all over the lid, because that'll be a good base color for a good like natural eye as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to just do a super natural look and then kind of deepen it to create kind of a darker evening look, if you will. Okay, so the fourth shade I'm going to use is going to be a little bit darker. This is going to be something that you use pretty much just in your crease, because this is what's going to create that depth that you want. So I'm going to use this, also this blend and tap brush, but I'm going to switch over to the opposite end. It's that end that's a little bit, it's not as round, it's a little bit more flat. I'm going to use this shade here. This one's called Leo. So the reason these brushes are really great because of their shape and their density is that it keeps the product where you want it. So especially their shape with this one, you're getting into your crease. So that kind of thinner shape works really well for just keeping it in the crease and not getting it all over the place. So you're just going to kind of pat it in into your crease, and then kind of in small circles, you're going to kind of blend it out. So the reason I'm blending in small circles and not in this big windshield wiper motion is because the small circles allow the color that you picked to stay where you want it. You don't want this crease shade to blend out all over the place. You want this color to stay in your crease. So very small blending motions is what you want. So if you're not sure where to place where your crease is, just kind of feel your eyeball and then where it comes up and meets with like your bone there, pretty much where your eye folds in, right there. That's your crease. That's where you're going to want. That's why the shape of this brush is really, really great. So I don't know if you can see it. The shape is really great for that crease because it gets right in there and it keeps that product where you want it. So this crease shade, I also bring in the entire length of my eye. So this is also one that I'm going to bring down into my lower lash line, but with this one, I'm not going to go all the way to my inner corner. I'm going to only do the outer half. Okay, now we'll just do the other side. Okay, so the last shade that I'm going to use for a more natural look is that one there. That one's called Bubba. We're gonna go with that. So now we're gonna stick to kind of the outer corners. So now I usually always start outer corner right on my lash line and kind of pat it in. But you're bringing that all the way up to your crease color because you're just creating a little bit more depth on that side of your face, eye. So you want to pat it in because you want your color to stay where you put it. You're patting, not swiping. You can also use this color to deepen up that crease just on the outer corner. Patting it in. And again, just going about halfway. You're not going all the way to the inner corner. Just halfway. It's also okay if you see a bit of a line there because we're going to blend that in after with that fluffy end of the eyeshadow everything brush. So you want a good amount of color on the outside of your eye. Then you're going to take this fluffy end there and you're just going to blend that. Again, small circles though, because you want to generally keep that product where it is. So small circles. There you go. See, now the outer corner has a little bit more depth than the inner, and that kind of opens up your eyes instead of making them look a little smaller. Can you hear my kids causing chaos in the other room? Okay, just about halfway. Okay, and then you're going to take your fluffy brush and blend it out. So that's like a super easy, natural, everyday look. I'm just going to blend out this transition shade a bit more. Now I will show you how to bring that to something a little bit more dramatic. I'm going to use my darker brown shade here. Tap that in. So you're just ever so slightly deepening that outer corner. You want a little bit more drama. It's really, again, really difficult to see what I'm doing in a cell phone. So if I look over, because I'm trying to see what I'm doing. So again, just like even a little bit less than halfway. And I'm also going to take that darker color and bring it underneath my lower lashes as well, but just on that outer corner. And that can all get blended in after. So I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to add that shimmer color. So the one I'm going to add is this one here. It's almost like a bronzy color. It's just got a little bit of shimmer, but nothing too super dramatic. This one's called You Complete Me, and it's one of my favorites because it is very subtle. I like subtle. So I'm actually going to take my fluffy brush here and I'm just going to blend out this darker color a bit. There we go. Just so we don't have any harsh lines, we want that blended. Blend, 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 blend. You guys, that's kind of the secret to having your makeup look good. Doesn't matter if it's your foundation, your eyeshadow, whatever. Blending. Always with the blending. Okay, so now I'm going to take that shimmer, You Complete Me, and I'm going to kind of load it up on my brush because I'm just going to pat it on. So see how subtle that is? It just adds a little bit of shimmer. You can hardly even see it on this camera, and I'm blurring out. So you're just patting it on. And this is all just going on the like ball of your eye, sort of your lid area. So this one I'm not going to use my fluffy brush and blend it in because I don't want to move that shimmer around. I want to keep it where it is. But you're going to pat it right into that darker color that you just applied as well. And then just really lightly with this color, I like to take that under the eye as well. Really, really lightly with this one though, because you don't want too much of a shimmer under your eye. You want to keep that on the top of your eye. Now that that's done, I'm going to go back to this detail brush here, and I'm actually going to take my illuminator that I have, this one here. It's called Glamazing. And this is what's really going to make your eyes kind of pop, is you're going to take this illuminator color, and with a small brush like this, you're just going to press that into the inner corner of your eye. Then you're just going to blend it up really lightly. You're going to keep that to the inner corner because it kind of opens your eyes up a bit. And then last but not least, you're going to take that same illuminator and you're just going to really lightly tap it just underneath that brow bone there. There you go. So you went from something really supernatural to something with a little bit more drama. And if you want a little even more darkness, I'm not an eyeliner kind of girl. I don't wear eyeliner. So I'm going to clean off that illuminator from my detail brush. So this is optional for those that want to go a little bit darker still. You can take that one there. Yep. Salem, it's called. And just take a little bit of the product on your brush, tap it off so you don't get any like dust falling onto your cheeks. And then you can press that into your lash line. And that's just going to give you a little bit more drama. But I don't know what I was going to say. I got distracted. This one you can take all the way to the inner corner if you want. If you do have naturally small eyes or they're closer together, just go with the outer half of your eye. Oh. And then this, just, you're not blending it completely into your eyeshadow, but you are blending it a little bit because you want that to be more of a softer, kind of a smokier look, rather than like a harsh line. You want to blend it in a bit. Done. So that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. Just a little hint too here, or a little tip. I never put black on my lower lash line, ever, 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 because to me that really makes your eyes close up a lot, and you want that open eye look. You don't want something super small. So, I'm just going to do my eyelashes real quick, and then I'll show you what it looks like once it's all done.